Hello, Tobin and Nora. Today is the, third day of spring, 2015, and I bet you are like us. We are so glad to see spring. Today I'm going to read you some books, and I want to show them to you first. This is called Cat and Mouse by Tomek Bogaki, and this is an author I've never heard of before. I've looked through this for the artwork. I love the way he draws the animals, and the story is really nice too. And another Clifford book, Clifford Loves Me. This is so clever, they made the whole book in the shape of a heart. I think that is so clever. And we all love Clifford. Now, all things considered, this is my all-time favorite children's book, Jamberry. This particular copy belonged to your dad and your Aunt Erin, and I put the date here, July 1988. It was a long time ago. Then I have two Corduroy books, Pocket for Corduroy and Corduroy. I think you probably know Corduroy. You probably like him. I do. Have You Seen My Duckling by Nancy Tefuri. And as you know, I love ducks. So any book about a duck, I've got to look at it. Another Clifford book, The Missing Beach Ball. I'm going to guess that Clifford ends up finding the beach ball. And this is kind of an odd book because of its shape. It's so long and skinny. They don't usually make children's books this way, or any kind of books this way. But I think you'll like this one. Then this one is actually a school textbook. Imagine that. I'm going to read you the first story from this about a visit to the attic. Cat and Mouse by Tomek Bogaki. Mother Mouse was teaching her children about the world, but not all of them. One little mouse was not paying attention. She was curious about everything. Mother Cat was teaching her children about the world, but one little cat was not paying attention. He was curious too. And there he goes. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen here? The curious little mouse and the curious little cat met in the green meadow. I have never seen an animal so different from me, said the mouse. I have never seen an animal so different from me, said the cat. The little mouse made a terrifying face. Are you afraid of me? She asked. No, said the cat. See, the mouse is trying to look very big and ferocious. The little cat made himself as big and scary as he could. Are you afraid of me? He asked. No, said the mouse. So the little mouse and the little cat began to play. They rolled down the hill. They swung from a tree. They played and played until the sun went down. Uh-oh, what do you think their mamas are thinking? Come home, little mouse, called Mother Mouse. It was getting dark. Come home, little cat, called Mother Cat. It is getting late. I have never had so much fun, the little mouse said to her sisters. I played with a cat. How could you have fun with a cat? They asked. I made friends with the mouse, the little cat said to his brothers. I've never had so much fun. How could you be friends with a mouse? They asked. Then the other little mice and the other little cats got curious too. Move, Vicky. The very next day, they all met in the green meadow. She knows I'm reading about cats. And they played and played until their mothers called them home. And there they are playing in the meadow. Now it's gold instead of green. I just wanted to show you a couple of things about this book that I really, really do like. I like the way he draws or paints the mice and the cats. And I don't know if you can see or not, this tree. Just love the way he did that tree. Well, everything actually. I just really like that book. Okay. Clifford Loves Me. And we've talked about Clifford books before, and the man who started Clifford. Hi, I'm Emily Elizabeth, and this is Clifford, my big red dog. Clifford loves living on Birdwell Island. Something about the place just feels right to him. Look how the island is shaped. It's shaped like a doggy biscuit, so maybe that's one reason Clifford loves it. While there's one thing Clifford loves best on Birdwell Island, there are many other things he loves too. Clifford loves his good friends Cleo and T-Bone. They all love to play and explore the island together. They also love to dig in the sand on the beach. But he's finding. Clifford is very happy when he can uncover buried treasure. So he uncovered a bone and a box full of treasure. Which one do you think he wants? Clifford loves to take a dip in the ocean, and he loves making a new friend. But none of that is what Clifford loves best. Clifford, Cleo, and T-Bone love to play in the park. They love to slide. And they love to play on the seesaw. I think they call them teeter-totters now. Clifford loves to run into Mr. Bleakman in the park. He knows Mr. Bleakman is always happy to see him, but none of that is what Clifford loves best either. Clifford loves to be helpful too. He helps Mr. Bleakman with his bird watching. Oh, I see, he's pulling the branch down so Mr. Bleakman can get a photo of the birds. Then Clifford helps to rescue a kitten stuck in a tree. Clifford also loves to help Mr. Carlson deliver the mail. Oh, I see. Mr. Carlson climbs up Clifford to get up to the top of the lighthouse. He helps show visitors around the island too. Clifford loves to make his neighbors on Birdwell Island happy by helping out, but that's not what he loves best on Birdwell Island either. Clifford loves a good, long dog nap after all his hard work. Clifford wakes up to his favorite sound. It's the school bell signaling the end of the school day. Then Clifford heads as fast as he can toward the school. And me. Clifford loves me best of all, and I love Clifford. I love Clifford too. Jamberry by Bruce Deegan. I think Bruce Deegan also drew these pictures, and I really, really love these pictures. I think I gave you a copy of Jamberry. You may have it. Yes, the story and the pictures are by Bruce Deegan. One berry, two berry, pick me a blueberry. Hatberry, shoeberry, in my canoeberry. Under the bridge and over the dam, looking for berries, berries for jam. Three-berry, four-berry, hayberry, strawberry. Finger and pawberry, my berry, your berry. Strawberry ponies, strawberry lambs, dancing in meadows of strawberry jam. Quickberry, quackberry, pick me a blackberry. Trainberry, trackberry, clickety clackberry. Rumble and ramble in blackberry bramble, billions of berries for blackberry jamble. Raspberry, jazzberry, Razzmatazz Berry Band, Merry Band, jamming in Berryland. Raspberry Rabbits, Brassberry Band, elephants skating on raspberry jam. Oh, that would be so messy, wouldn't it? Moonberry, Starberry, Cloudberry Sky, Boomberry, Zoomberry, rocket shoot by. Mountains and fountains rain down on me, buried in berries, what a jamboree. And this is what Mr. Deegan has to say about the book. When I was a little boy, berries never came from a store. We found them in the fields. Grandma would take a pot, Grandpa would take a can, and I would take my pail. We picked and didn't come home till we had filled them up with berries. Then we would sit in the kitchen, and eat fresh washed berries with sour cream and sugar, while the house filled with the warm smell of blueberry pie in the oven and blackberry jam cooking on the stove. I still love looking for berries in the fields, but now my wife and 2 sons and I do the picking. We fill cans and pots and pails with berries and then have a feast of pies and jams and berries with lots of cream. Nora, you're probably too young to remember this, but Tobin, I think you would remember a few years ago we were able to go with your mom berry picking, and we were picking blueberries, just like here on the book. Blueberries are very, very good for you, and they're delicious, and you can make things out of them. So maybe this year you can come during the time the blueberries are ripe, and we can pick blueberries again. Okay, A Pocket for Corduroy by Dawn Freeman. Corduroy is a little toy bear. I want to read this one first. This is the one where the little girl finds Corduroy in the store. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. There he is. He's waiting for somebody to buy him. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost a button on one of his shoulder straps." See, he's missing a button there. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were... I'm having a little trouble seeing. Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was an amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "This must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And he crawled up onto the large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried. And he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop, off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all, and there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customer came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady asked. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight into her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. Corduroy is just the neatest little bear. Now there's something else Corduroy needs. A pocket for Corduroy. He needs a pocket. Late one summer afternoon, Lisa and her mother took their laundry to the laundromat. As always on such trips, Lisa carried along her bear, Corduroy. The laundromat was a very busy place this hour. "Now, Corduroy, you sit right here and wait for me," Lisa said. "I'm going to help with our wash." Corduroy waited patiently. Then suddenly he perked up his ears. Lisa's mother was saying, "Be sure to take everything out of your pockets, Lisa dear. You don't want your precious things to get all wet and soapy." "Pockets?" said Corduroy to himself. I don't have a pocket." He slid off the chair. "I must go find something to make a pocket out of," he said, and he began to look around. First he came to a pile of fancy towels and washcloths, but nothing was the right size or color. Then he saw a huge stack of colorful clothes in a laundry bag. "There ought to be something in here to make a pocket out of," he said. Without hesitating, he climbed inside the bag, which was filled with pieces of wet laundry. The dampness didn't bother Corduroy in the least. "This must be a cave," he said, sighing happily. "I've always wanted to live in a dark, cool cave." When the time came for Lisa to fetch her bear, he was gone. "Oh, Mommy," she exclaimed, "Corduroy isn't here where I left him." "I'm sorry, honey," said her mother, "but the laundromat will be closing soon, and we must be getting home." Lisa was reluctant to leave without Corduroy, but her mother insisted. "You can come back tomorrow," she said. "I'm sure he will still be here." As they left, a young man wearing an artist's beret was taking his wet laundry out of a bag. The very bag Corduroy had discovered. Before he knew it, Corduroy was being tossed together with all the sheets, shorts, and slacks inside the dryer. But just as the artist was shutting the glass door, Corduroy tumbled out onto the floor. "How in thunder did that bear get mixed up with all my things?" the artist wondered. Poor Corduroy was damp all over. The least I can do for him is give his overalls a good drying, said the man thoughtfully. He unbuttoned Corduroy's shoulder straps and put his overalls in the dryer. Corduroy grew dizzy as he watched the clothes spinning around, but the artist became inspired. This would make a wonderful painting, he said, as he took a sketch out of his pocket and began drawing the swirling colors. I can hardly wait to get back to my studio. Finally, the dryer stopped whirling and the man gathered up the clothes. Then he helped Corduroy put on his warm, dry overalls. All at once, the manager of the laundromat called, "Closing time, everybody out." Corduroy was gently placed on top of a washing machine. "I wonder who that bear belongs to," said the artist as he was leaving. "Seems to me he should have his name someplace. He's too fine a fellow to be lost." As soon as the lights were turned off, Corduroy began his search again. He was surprised to see something white glowing in the dark. "Maybe it's snow," he said excitedly. "I've always wanted to play in the snow." He accidentally tipped over the open-lidded box, and suddenly he was covered with soft, slippery snowflakes. Soap flakes. Gradually, Corduroy began to slip and slide. "Oh, what fun," he said with a smile. "I've always wanted to ski down a steep mountainside." He landed, paws first, in an empty laundry basket. "This must be a cage," he said, peeking through the bars. "I've never wanted to live inside a cage, like a bear in the zoo." But by now, Corduroy felt drowsy, and soon he nodded off to sleep. Next morning, when the manager came to open the door of the laundromat, there was Lisa waiting. "I left something here yesterday," she explained. "May I look around?" "Certainly," said the manager. "My customers are always leaving things." Lisa was searching under the chairs and in back of the washing machines when she heard the manager call her. "Is this what you're looking for, senorita?" Yes, he's my best friend," shouted Lisa, and she came running. She reached in and picked Corduroy out of the basket. "So this is where you've been, you little rascal," she said. "It's time I took you home." Lisa thanked the manager and ran out the door and down the street, holding Corduroy tightly in her arms. "I thought I told you to wait for me," she said. "Why did you wander away?" "I was looking for a pocket," Corduroy said. "Oh, Corduroy, why didn't you tell me you wanted a pocket?" asked Lisa, giving him an affectionate squeeze. That very morning, Lisa sewed a pocket on Corduroy's overalls. And here is a card I've made with your name on it for you to keep tucked inside," she said. "I've always wanted a purple pocket with my name tucked inside," said Corduroy, as he and Lisa muzzled noses when the duckling left. Oh, right on the very first. There he goes. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He would make 8. And what is the duckling looking for? I think he's looking for, oh yeah, he's going after that butterfly. There he goes. Early one morning, let's see, 1, there's just 7. There's number 8. Here comes Mama Duck to check on the babies. And she's counting. And she knows that one is missing. There he goes. Let's see, where is he? Oh, there he is. So she's going to start looking for him. "Have you seen my duckling?" He's right there. But she doesn't notice him yet, does she? "Have you seen my duckling?" See, where is he in this picture? There he is behind the tree, still trying to get a good look at the butterfly. "Have you seen my duckling?" Where is he this time? There's 7. That must be the missing duckling behind that rock. "Have you seen my duckling?" There he is in that picture. in the tall grass. Have you seen my duckling? Oh, there he is. Still after the butterfly. There he is, right by the turtle. I love turtles too. And it looks like the butterfly's going to join them for a while. Now she can finally go to sleep because she found her missing duckling. It's a very clever book. I like that. Another Clifford book, The Missing Beach Ball. Tobin, I know you like the beach. I bet Nora does too. It was a hot sunny day on Birdwell Island. Clifford was excited. He was going to the beach. Clifford found his toy. And then he went to Cleo's house. Hi, Cleo, said Clifford. Are you ready to go to the beach? I sure am, said Cleo. I'm going to make the best sandcastle ever. Great, said Clifford. Where's T-Bone? Just then something rolled in front of them. It was a shiny beach ball. Hey guys, said T-Bone, running over. Check out my new beach ball. Isn't it great? It sure is, T-Bone, said Clifford. We're going to have so much fun with it at the beach, said T-Bone. So together the dogs went to the beach. When they got there, T-Bone and Clifford played with T-Bone's new beach ball while Cleo made a sandcastle. Wow, she's making a pretty good sandcastle, isn't she? The dogs were having fun when a big wave suddenly hit the shore. Splash! Clifford, Cleo, and T-Bone were soaked. What do you think happened? Since the name of the book is The Missing Beach Ball, and they just got hit with a big wave, can you imagine what might have happened? Whoa, yelled Cleo. My sandcastle is ruined. That's okay, Cleo, said T-Bone. You can play with us. We're having so much fun with... Hey, where's my beach ball? T-Bone's beach ball was gone. Clifford, Cleo, and T-Bone sniffed around the sand. The wave must have washed it away, said Cleo. Don't worry, T. If we all are together, I'm sure we can find it, said Clifford. The three friends began to search for T-Bone's missing beach ball. T-Bone looked under some seashells. He'd find a bright red crab, but he didn't find his beach ball. Cleo looked around some rocks. She found a pink starfish, but she didn't find T-Bone's beach ball. Clifford decided to take a look underwater. He saw lots of colorful coral, pretty shells, and friendly sea creatures, but he didn't see T-Bone's beach ball. T-Bone was very sad. Where was his beach ball? Suddenly Clifford saw something bobbing in the water. I just went up there. Look, he yelled. It's my beach ball, said T-Bone. With Cleo and T-Bone on his back, Clifford swam toward the beach ball. But as they got closer, the beach ball got farther and farther away. I think I need to go a little faster, said Clifford. Hang on, guys. When the dogs finally caught up to the beach ball, they understood why it kept moving. A group of dolphins was playing with it. Wow, said Clifford. They're having lots of fun with your beach ball. While the dogs were watching, one of the dolphins hit the beach ball to T-Bone. T-Bone looked at the dolphins. They were bobbing up and down and making squawking noises. They were trying to talk to him. T-Bone didn't know what to do. What are they saying? He asked. Maybe they're telling us to leave them alone, said Cleo. Clifford thought for a moment. I think they just want you to throw the ball back to them, T, he said. So that's what T-Bone did. One of the dolphins hit the ball to Clifford. Clifford hit it back. Pass it to me, Cleo called. Again and again, the dogs and the dolphins passed the ball to each other. Soon it was time for Clifford, T-Bone, and Cleo to go home. T-Bone looked at the dolphins who were happily playing with the beach ball. Think I'll let them keep my beach ball, he said. Keep it? "But it's your new toy," said Cleo. "I know," said T-Bone, "but look how happy they are. I have lots of other toys that I can play with. I want them to have this one." The dolphins leaped from the water. "I think they're saying thank you," said Clifford. "You're welcome," said T-Bone, waving to the dolphins. So Clifford, T-Bone, and Cleo headed back to Birdwell Island, and the happy dolphins disappeared into the sunset. That was very nice of T-Bone, wasn't it? Okay, another beach story. This is the tall, skinny book. If I Went Sailing Out to Sea. Written and illustrated by Ellen Dulce. If I went sailing out to sea, an octopus would play with me. And if I went camping by a lake, I'd make popcorn, fries, and cake. Well, if I went diving way down deep, I'd discover where the mermaids sleep. But if I went on a trip to the moon, I'd float up high in a big balloon. And if I went searching for buried gold, I'd dig until the day grew old. I love that picture of the parrot. Well, if I went skating on the ice, I'd glide along with a troop of mice. But we go skipping off to school, where we always follow every rule. I like that. That's a neat little book. Now this is the one that is actually a textbook, probably second grade, I'm guessing. I don't know. And the name of the story is In the Attic. And it's about a little boy who got bored with his toys. And what do you do when you get bored? Let's see what this little guy does. I had a million toys, but I was bored. So I climbed into the attic. Here he goes. What's in the attic? Nothing. An attic is a place where people store things they don't use anymore or want to give away or something. But this attic doesn't have anything in it. I found a family of mice. And a cool, quiet place to rest and think. I met a spider, and we made a web. I opened windows to other worlds. I found an old flying machine, and I made it work. I went out to look for someone to share what I had found. Oh, what did he find? He found a tiger. The tiger is talking tiger talk, and the little boy is talking his own language. And I found a friend I could talk to. My friend and I found a game that could go on forever, but it was time for dinner. So I climbed out of the attic and told my mother where I'd been all day. "But we don't have an attic," she said. I guess she doesn't know about the attic. She hasn't found the ladder. Well, I like this story because several things. The little boy finds the attic empty, but in his imagination, it is not empty. It starts out with the mice. He did find some mice, and from there, his imagination takes off. Okay, I like that story. Imagination is a very good thing, children. You know that. I think Ziggy wants to say goodbye. Goodbye, kids. Ziggy is our little, very, very little cat. And she's quite a kitty. She's a nice girl. We love Ziggy. She sleeps with us at night. All right, Tobin and Nora, I guess I better say goodbye. And it was really nice reading for you. I hope to, when you come, we can play in the park and maybe out here at our house. maybe you'll have some ideas on things that we can do the little playhouse. All right, we love you, and we will see you in a few days. Bye-bye.